And as always, we're going to be looking for accurate context, good risk management, and always exercising good patience.
Everybody who's traded has gone through periods of time where their strategy hasn't worked.
Where if not a hard stop, you should reevaluate the trades you're in based on time.
That's what we're here for, is to put ourselves in the best success. A trading routine does that, builds that habit, lets you know what to work on, what to reflect on, and what to improve on the next day.
Good afternoon and welcome to the market recap here. Still Tuesday, November the 22nd. My name is John Hoagland. Thanks for trusting me with your time. Let's take a deep breath and think about what happened today. The E-mini S&Ps closed up 52 points, 1.3%. These are unofficial, of course, just checking right before the close here. The NASDAQ up 162 points, up 1.4%. The NASDAQ actually outperforming the S&Ps today. And the Dow futures up 395 points, about 1.1%. Crude oil up 91 cents, closing at 80.95, 1.14% higher. Stocks really surged higher, and it seemed to start when the talking feds started speaking. Now, I've looked through the highlights, if you will, of what they talked about today. The one thing that I noticed missing is there was no real talk of rate hikes. They seem to have left that out of the speeches today, and I think investors took notice of that and started to kind of fall into a little bit of FOMO. The focus, it seems, of the talking feds today was more about employment and personal savings. Some talk about inflation, but I did not see anything really that they had talked about rate hikes, and I find that kind of unusual. They seemed to be speaking rather dovishly today, maybe on purpose. We don't know. Maybe I'm just missing some of what they said. I was, again, going to read the whole speeches, but I did, like I said, look over the highlights, and the one thing that was missing that they did not talk about was rate hikes. Is that what caused this big push to the upside in the equities? We know that there was a technical breakout in the S&Ps. Now the NASDAQ has experienced that same technical breakout. Very, unusual. It was not part of my main hypothesis today for the market to become directional to the upside. We were looking at another day of maybe 30, 40 points of range for the day, and we did much better than that. We did almost 50 points of range today, so we extended the range past yesterday. We became really kind of directional, and we may be breaking out of the kind of less confident area that the S&Ps have been in. We're going to look at these. Look at this on the charts. We're going to look at this on the charts very shortly. Meester's comments were expectation for longer-term inflation remains reasonably anchored. That seems kind of rosy to me. Labor demand continues to outpace worker supply. Not necessarily anti-inflationary, but again, there was no comment or discussion of rate hikes. And we know the middle of December, we've got another FOMC meeting. It's 2 weeks from today, or from tomorrow, actually. We have the FOMC meeting minutes tomorrow, and 2 weeks after that is, of course, going to be the next Fed meeting. So really some more kind of quieter, dovish conversation from the talking feds that I did have, like I said, the opportunity to read some of the highlights of their speeches today. So Wow, markets outperforming anything I expected today, and that's okay. I mean, we have our expectations. The market is its own environment. We don't get to choose what it does. We have to maintain risk management and stay in its environment. It was a tough day for the shorts, man. Tough day for the shorts. Somebody's kind of already mentioning kind of a short squeeze today, and that may be the case. We'll see an open interest tomorrow morning if we really did bring in new buyers here, or if we just squeezed out the shorts from lower. So, I guess another fascinating trading day tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be another one, because don't forget, we have all of the economic information due out this week coming out tomorrow. Durable goods, jobless claims, PMI composite flash, new home sales, Michigan sentiment, crude status, New York natural gas report, and the FOMC minutes all due tomorrow. So watch tomorrow be a boring day. After really nothing coming out today except some talking feds. I don't see any talking feds on the schedule for tomorrow on the site that I'm looking at here. Got a couple of ECB speakers. No, I don't see anything really on the docket for tomorrow for any talking feds. So they're done for the week, it seems. I know I'm pretty much done for the week, it seems. I'm a little bit exhausted today, a little bit tired. It's always emotional when the market does something that you don't expect. And, I'm not going to lie, I didn't get to participate on most of the way up here today. It was not part of my main hypothesis, although when it started, we had some visuals, some visual opportunities, I think, still well above price in the naked point of controls and the like. We'll see that in the charts again shortly. Please make sure, if you like what you're seeing, hit the lucky like button, share, comment, question, feedback. Heckling and love are always welcome on the recap. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can get notifications when we do go live. I want to appreciate everybody for coming to Make Hogue Money today. We had a successful session. We had 2 winning trades, just about $100 in minis, micros. So that's a pretty good trading day. We probably should have held on to that long until the cows come home. But, it was a shorter time frame trade. We had a target for it. We reached it. We're happy with it. So, again, thank you all for joining me for Make Hogue Money today. I've got Lacey right here. George. She's demanding that I pet her, so I'm giving her some love right now. And she's giving me the puppy eyes, so she's enjoying this. And makes me feel better, I didn't have a bad day. I didn't have a great day, but it always feels good to pet a warm puppy or a warm dog, huh? Good afternoon, my guy Vince. Spencer, been watching this dude on FinTwit loading up on short futures and long puts this last couple of days. He was freaking out this afternoon. I'm sure he was. That's not really any kind of a spread, short futures, long puts. That's more of an O'Hare spread. He probably was thinking about going to some airport, checking the markets, and then hopping on a plane and getting out of town. That is a bad day today. Haggle Matters. Well, that was a sustained short squeeze today, right? Joe, good morning. Nice long today in Make Hogue Money. Thanks again. And again, we should have married that one. Bots are on pause. Institutional traders are on vacation. This is just another retail day. Traders trading with each other, picking each other's pockets. And that's really what our expectation was. Didn't expect it to become this directional, though. Bill Phillips, good afternoon. Vid Partners, hello. Frederico and Trading Research. Good to see everybody this afternoon. We got one more day this week. It is the Thanksgiving holiday this Thursday, this couple of days from now. I know I'm looking forward to a 4-day weekend. Markets are going to be open at times, but I'm going to suggest and ask everybody to, after tomorrow, take a little break. Look away for a few days. things might look better for trading next week. Not that they were bad this week, but Thursday and Friday, abbreviated sessions, very little participation, probably not a lot of opportunities. So, unless something weird happens, I know I'm not going to be looking at the markets Thursday, Friday. I'll check them out on Sunday night when we get ready for another full week of thrills, chills, and excitement in the futures markets. Hey, my brother Tom. How you doing, buddy? We had Randolph Duke here earlier. Now we've got Tom Duke. Good to see you, buddy. All right, let's rifle through these charts and get on with our afternoons. Here's the daily and crude. Let's go top left in clockwise formation. Big excess, continuation to the upside today, about $1 higher. Rollover has ended. The rumor that the Saudis were going to increase production is now over, and we're seeing price turn back in the opposite direction, but not before we got our profit target, the measured move off of this Head and Shoulders, which took us down to 75.20, just short of it yesterday. Take a look at the 30. So we opened with a gap, unable to close the gap relatively early, did provide a long opportunity, put us here at the low of the session, up to the high of the session, back near the low of the session. This market's really been kind of whippy yesterday and today. Lacey, good girl. Now, here, this is a difference, right? We've been talking for the last 6, 7 sessions here, how the market has been very indecisive. We've had very small candle bodies and long shadows. There is a change to that today. We were kind of looking at the highs of these candle bodies as potential for resistance. We got through all of that. Not only did we go through all of that, overnight, we broke out of a bull flag. Well, a bull flag should mean we might turn directional the following day. It was one of my hypotheses, but not my main hypothesis, because it's a holiday week, and I was kind of doubting the idea that we were going to be able to become directional to this degree. Now, when we take a look at when this market started taking out the highs that may have kind of offered the opportunity to create balance up here, it was at 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. Well, when did the talking feds begin speaking? Well, we had Meester at 10 a.m. Central, which didn't really do much, but when George and Bullard spoke, mostly Bullard, I think, or George, I should say, that's when the market started to accelerate. We had a little jump in volume on this move to the upside. That should have been something that may have told me, let's think about either staying out of this or trying to find an opportunity for a long. Take a look at the TPO chart here. So range bound, short covering P early in the session, continuation, leaving single TPOs in this area. Okay, that's excess now below price. We never take those out, so the opportunity for us to continue to the upside remains. Now we've even put a late spike at the high of the session today. So we're going to be looking at that late spike as part of our context for tomorrow morning. Remember the late spike rules. Opening above the late spike is acceptance of higher pricing. Opening within the late spike is a little less of a probability of accepting of higher prices. Opening below the base of the late spike is rejection of higher pricing. So we've got all kinds of information and economic stuff coming out tomorrow. So it's going to be another challenging day, probably more like a normal trading day than yesterday and even today. What was the volume like today? Look at the volume. Not impressive. What about in New York? Also, Not impressive. Less volume today than we even had yesterday. Do you think maybe a lack of participation or liquidity has something to do with the dimension or the depth of this move to the upside? Okay, it looks like we're going to have about 3 to 4% less volume in New York at the end of the session today than we did even yesterday. Today's a bigger range, more better, I guess, opportunity as if you're not looking for shorts. But what else would you do? I mean, it's so difficult when the market becomes directional like this to go to look for longs. It's just easier to look for shorts, to try and pick the top. It happens to everybody. Happens to me. But that's, when the market is directional like this, you don't want to fight it unless there's some sort of structure with which to lean on. We did have a TPO point of control up here. Now the next thing we're looking at is a volume point of control all the way up here. I think there's a TPO point of control right around 4018, 4019 that also may come into the visual target for traders to reach to. Tough trading day today. And it's kind of funny. We did the coach's playbook on is it good to have a bias or is it bad to have a bias? Today's bias for me wouldn't have helped. Didn't get into trouble, thank goodness. But wow. Here's the NASDAQ. Looks like a sea monster. It's Cecil, the sea monster. But now we start to see a little bit of life back in this market. We've got our falling triangle. Volume a little better today in the NASDAQ than yesterday. That's something different than the S&Ps. So here's our falling triangle breaking out above it. Aided by, and I firmly believe that the talking Feds had something to do with this continuation in the soft talk that they used today. So now we're looking at continuation to the upside. We've got a long way to go before we're going to find any kind of naked points of control on this upside move here. This market is closing in more on remaining range bound than a continuation to the upside. Keep that in mind. Gold wasn't really too hot on opportunities in gold this morning. Market really range bound inside yesterday's extended trading hour range. Probably not a big change in value here. We had overnight inventory to the long side. Eventually, by the close, all of that overnight inventory had been reconciled back to settlement, back to where did we open the overnight? We opened the overnight right at settlement. So we opened on this bar. We closed in that same neighborhood. Overnight inventory coming back off. Tough trade, though, because the A period did get taken out by the C period, and then the market started to look to the downside. For the euro, what did we see in the dollar today? Okay, the dollar did close weak. It struggled all day. So we've got the euro kind of closing higher, but again, another inside extended trading hour range from yesterday. No real finish to this gap close right here. We did trade down to value high, finding some buyers. I'm going to look for this market to come back and close this gap here perhaps tomorrow. All depends on the dollar. You know what they say, it's all about the Benjamins. Same sitch, kind of, in the 10 years. Inside extended trading hour range today. Inside regular trading hour range today. We did have some overnight inventory that reconciled just before the open, really keeping things kind of tight here as far as the 10-year is concerned. And it makes sense. I mean, we've got the FOMC meeting minutes tomorrow. And let's see the natural gas continuation. So in the December contract, this was our island top. We've taken that out. That's no longer an issue. Getting a test relatively close to our new weekly kickoff high adjusted for the January contract. Let's see here. Take a look at the 30. I would love to master this market, but does anybody ever really master a market? Overnight inventory short. Reconciled in the 930 bar. Continuation and then rotation. I really wonder what tomorrow's going to be like. I got to make sure and get a good night's sleep tonight. It's going to be hard because I've got to go pick up my daughter here tonight. She's going to be coming home and staying with us for a few days, which is always welcome. It's always warmer in the house when Sarah's home and then when everybody's home. So we'll look forward to that. Let's see what we've got here. Woof. Lacey. Now she is finally on my feet again. She's got used to her bed. She doesn't lay on my feet anymore, but right now she is. Maybe it's because I pet her. I do that so she doesn't eat me. Spencer, traders by SPY calls market makers by stock to hedge their short call position. Short squeeze happens. Low liquidity amplifies this. Absolutely 100% Spencer. Dr. VJ, hello, Hogan. All powerful bull move. Bullish for now. Single prints all the way down to 39.91. Holiday bull is hungry. Vince, you too. Enjoy your family time. If I don't see it tomorrow, I'm going to be giving thanks for you twice. Chamomile tea will help you sleep tonight. I was afraid my daughter was gonna maybe be making some espresso martinis tonight, so we can have a couple of pops and be ready for the festivities on Thursday. She's gonna be working from home tomorrow, so we'll be hanging out and working, I guess, kind of together. We won't be really in the same room, but we'll have the opportunity to bump into each other tomorrow. It'd be nice to have somebody in the office. It's always nice to have Lacey in the office, but to have another human around will certainly be nice. Today was a sad day in history, 1963. This is the day JFK was assassinated. I did not realize in my whole life that happened on my mom's birthday. It never connected to me. I never even thought about that. 1986, Mike Tyson becomes the youngest heavyweight champ in history. As far as music is concerned, Steve Van Zandt's birthday is today, 1950. He's a guitarist for Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band. He was also starred on the TV series The Sopranos. Tina Weymouth. If you don't know her, she was the bassist for the Talking Heads. It's her birthday today. Same year as Steve Van Zandt. Don't see a lot of names I recognized as far as the birthdays. (1957) on this date, Paul Simon and Art Garfunkel appeared as Tom and Jerry on American Bandstand. They didn't even go as Simon and Garfunkel. Today in 1963, the Beatles released their second album with the Beatles, which went on to spend 51 weeks on the UK charts. This is also the day the White Album came out in 1968. it cost 3.13 shillings or $8.76. Spent 8 weeks as the UK's number one album. Today is 1975. KC and the Sunshine Band started a 2-week run at number one on the U.S. singles chart with That's the Way I Like It. My God, what we used to listen to. Unbelievable. Terry is awake. Good to see you. Oh, a happy day. All right. Well, rest up, everybody. One more day, and then we can relax and give thanks for all of the opportunities, health and wealth and happiness that we can get. And I will look forward to seeing you tomorrow morning on the Market Forecast. Tomorrow is the evening or the closing session of Make Hogue Money. Let's see what we can do. And other than that, blessings to you all. Make sure you're kind to yourselves, kind to each other. Keep praying for peace. And we'll see you tomorrow morning. Same bet time, same bet channel. Have a good night.